Hi, and welcome to In the Front Row, all things news, reviews, and interviews. My name is Jamie Lee, and today I'll be doing a review of the new Thor Love and Thunder movie. I did do a reaction to the trailer, and I really enjoyed the trailer. It was colourful, it was bright, there was like funny moments in there. It was very Taika Waititi, and normally I like what Taika Waititi does. I really enjoyed Hunt for the Wilder People, Boy, Ragnarok is like my top at least 5 Marvel movies. But this one just fell flat for me. I just could not connect to it. And I just thought the story was really choppy and all over the place. And honestly, it's not what I was expecting from this movie at all. Based from the trailer, I was kind of hoping we'd see love moments and like Thor gets his happy ending, ruling, or not really ruling, but like saving the world or fighting the bad guys with Jane, also Thor. And I thought that it would be like this really big, triumphant, heroic sort of movie, and it was not that at all. It was very different to what I was expecting. This video will contain spoilers. Let's just dive right into the first one, that Thor is a daddy. Never thought I'd say that apart from in my dreams, but anyway. So I don't even think she calls him daddy. I think she calls him uncle, but anyway, very, very odd to me. I get if this was Tony Stark, I could feel this because like in Iron Man 3, he formed that relationship with the little boy who rescued him. And then he started forming a like fatherly bond with Peter. So they planted the seeds and they built up to the fact that he wants to be a family man, or he does become a dad. But do you know what I mean? Like they built up to that. Whereas with Thor, I never thought that he wanted a family. They've never there was no build up to that. It was sort of like, okay, he's a dad now. And it was just very, very strange to me. And I felt really disconnected from it, to be honest with you. Like, I get that the little girl love has to be involved. And like, she's obviously in the comics somewhere. And obviously she's going to be in the MCU, whether it's Young Avengers or whatever she's going to be a part of. But I just feel like it was so thrown in and so random. And I don't feel like it was a movie about Thor. I think it was a movie about Jane, which would be totally fine if the story was good. But I feel like the story was so chopped up and there was so many like different random things happening that, yeah, it wasn't really a good story about Jane. Like, to do with her cancer, that was a really serious and sad topic that should have been addressed in that way. And I feel like there was like humor thrown at every single moment that was supposed to be serious. For example, when she was dying in Thor's arms, that moment there, we were supposed to feel sadness. And like, I'm a very sensitive person. I get upset very easily. Like someone could say, I love you in the cutest way, and I'll probably start tearing up or crying. I cry very easily in movies, which is totally fine, but I didn't feel anything in this moment. Like I didn't feel anything. And someone's really messed up there because normally I feel very easily, but I didn't feel anything in that moment. And then they chuck in humor, and the humor didn't stick. Like at all. We didn't even hear the joke that she told Thor. What a wasted opportunity. And it's a wasted opportunity on both parts because we didn't feel sad and we didn't laugh, or I didn't feel sad and I didn't laugh. And that was just one example. Another example was when Thor and her were supposedly, he was supposed to be telling her that he loved her. And he said, Jane, I want to feel crappy. Like, is that supposed to be funny? You're supposed to be expressing your love for somebody. Like you're dropping those dumb one-liners in there. I didn't find it funny. Like, take that opportunity to actually show that he cares and he wants to mature and be a dad and grow up, which I guess was the whole point at the end there. But like, getting to there was just so choppy. And while we're talking about their relationship, I really didn't feel anything for it at all. Like those flashback scenes where they went back to their relationship and we, got to see the moments where they were like going on dates and having dinners and things like that. Those moments were like cringy to me and pretty awkward. Like I didn't really feel like their relationship was overly strong or really lovely to begin with. But I did like that we saw the moment where Thor asked Mjolnir to protect Jane. And that brings me to another plot confusion, if you could call it that, another issue that I have with the plot. Is the fact that Jane isn't worthy. Thor is worthy. Like, Thor gave the children his power, right? The only reason that Jane even became Thor is because Thor wanted her to. Thor asked the hammer to protect her, and that's exactly what it did. So to me, that takes away the weight that Jane has as Thor. I expected her to come and be this like worthy, strong, someone to rule with or fight with Thor and, you know, really take over the world or like save the world. And I didn't get that because really she's not worthy. Like the hammer was to protect her and it didn't even do that because she ends up dying. So it just takes away, it just sucks everything out of it for me. Like I just expected something totally different. I feel like they left the door open by having her not really die. Like she definitely died, but then they opened this world to another realm or an afterlife for the gods, which I really, really liked that was included because it gives the opportunity for people to come back. You know, like these heroes that we know and love, like there is a world where they're alive, I guess, even though it's an afterlife and they probably won't be in our dimension or what we're used to seeing in the MCU at the moment. But there's definitely a window of opportunity to, you know, make movies about that place and those characters that have technically died. So I thought that was really interesting and really cool. But the fact that they left her alive, or the fact that she went to this place, it left the door open for her. And I thought, did the door really need to be open? Like, wasn't this us closing the door on her? Wasn't she dying and us saying that's the end? Like, that's what we were supposed to feel in that, right? We were supposed to feel sad that she died and that was the end of her chapter. And it just feels very strange that at the end they sort of gave us that like flicker of hope that, you know, she's still here. It was just very strange to me. Another thing that I felt really strange about is at the very, very start, we meet Gorr. I felt sorry for Gorr. He lost his daughter and he had faith in the gods and the gods were failing him. Obviously, he was corrupted by the sword and that whoever that god was. I felt sympathy to him from the start. And I get that we get to have a sob story for these villains, but normally it's at the end where you can like feel sorry for them.
Yep, jump the gun.
At the start, I want to feel that they're threatening. I want to feel that they're bad. And I felt sad for him. Like I didn't really feel threatened or feel bad or feel like he was bad. I felt like, yeah, really sympathetic towards him. And I don't think that's the way that you should start a movie. I mean, how would I know how to start a movie? I have no experience, but I'm saying that I felt conflicted with him because I know that he was bad and I shouldn't like him. But at the same time, all I kept thinking was, oh, well, he lost his daughter. And, you know, it's technically not really him. It's, you know, this power or this infection like corrupting him. So yeah, it was really strange feeling throughout. And then when we got to the end where he actually reaches eternity, again, it was really strange because, you know, he wanted to bring back his daughter and Thor said something about love, you know, like choose love. And it was just like, but the whole point of this whole movie was him choosing to kill the gods, like Gorr the God Butcher. I don't know. I was just so, it was really confusing to me. But anyway, there was good moments in there. I really liked that we got to see a lot more about Korg because I didn't really know anything about him or his species.
Yeah.
So it was cool to finally know that they mate with male and male only and that he made a little Korg baby. Yeah, them calling his partner Dwayne and obviously they're Rock, so like Dwayne the Rock. I thought that was like the funniest moment of the whole thing. There was a couple of other little throwaway lines that were quite funny in there, but overall I expected there to be a lot more humor. And I don't know if that's just me being picky because in Ragnarok, which I have like, I guess I expected it to reach that standard, I guess you could say. In Ragnarok, you had Loki, you had Banner, even Hela. Hela was a great character, super great villain. I'm not saying that Gorr isn't, but I just feel like she was so threatening. And Gorr, like he was terrifying and he looked great and Christian Bale was amazing. But I just feel like, you know, the use of the shadow monsters and it really took away what he could do with the sword. You know, I don't even think we really saw him killing gods. You know, there was like a few scenes on the screen where the Guardians were like flicking through what he'd done and all the messages that were coming through the distress calls or whatever it was. But we didn't actually really get to see the potential or see how bad that villain was. So yeah, maybe that was a wasted opportunity there as well. I'm not too sure. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that in Thor Ragnarok, he had a lot of people to sort of like banter with or bounce ideas or his personality off. You know, like Loki was in there, Banner was in there, Hela. There was people that he could work with, I guess. And with Natalie, I don't feel like there was any banter. I feel like they were trying to be serious with her, but then they tried to throw in the humor and it wasn't sticking. And part of me feels like, I wonder if we had have had the Guardians stay a little bit longer, if that humor and that banter between Pratt and Hemsworth would have like made the show better. I don't know what words I can even use to describe it, But I just feel like, yeah, even the comedy part, which is the one part that I was really expecting to dominate in this, didn't. And yeah, I just wonder if they had have included someone like, Hulk, or I know it's not possible, but, and they've got other, different things that's going on in the MCU that they need to be a part of. And it really wouldn't work apart from Guardians. But, and even Guardians, if they had kept them longer, it would have taken away from Guardians 3, which is coming up, and they've got their own little story to tell there. So I totally get it. But yeah, it just fell flat to me. And I feel like, I wonder if someone else was in there, if it would have gave it a little bit more weight and made it a little bit better. In saying that, Valkyrie was great. I really loved the scenes with Zeus. I thought that location was awesome. It looked really great. Russell Crowe is obviously fantastic. And it was really cool to see all those other gods or species leaders, I guess you could call them. For people who read the comics, that would have been really exciting to see all those people and all those Easter eggs and people that they're familiar with on screen. I don't know any of those people, but it was really, really cool to see all these different species and these different gods attend this meeting about the orgy. I think that's all it was. But yeah, super cool that they ended up getting the Thunderbolt. I really enjoyed seeing the scenes with the hammer and with Stormbreaker. It was really funny when Stormbreaker was just creeping on into the shots and yeah, being completely jealous over the relationship between Thor and his hammer. I found that one of the funniest lines of Ragnarok when Korg's
sounds like you had a pretty special and intimate relationship with this hammer, and that losing it was almost comparable to losing a loved one.
I think that was one of the funniest lines. I try and quote it as often as I can. Oh my god, the hammer pulled you off. It's just so funny. So many good moments in that movie, but I definitely can't say the same for this one. I really didn't enjoy it.
It's a nice way of putting it.
Obviously, I appreciate some of the scenes that looked great. I really, really liked those scenes in the first battle shot with the Guardians there. That was really what I wanted to see, this OP Thor. He just took on everybody. Do you know what I mean? Nobody was a threat to him. That's what I came into this movie to see, a real OP Thor. And I really expected Jane to be right alongside him, and I don't know, it just didn't happen for me. She was definitely there and her fight scenes were cool, I guess, but I wasn't feeling it apart from that, and then yeah, to have her killed off at the end, I just thought, well, what was the point of all that kind of thing? I just really wanted to see something different, and as I said, there was no emotion in it, and I don't know if that's because of their chemistry. I don't know, but I wasn't sad at all. I wasn't happy when they kissed. I wasn't excited when they fought together. I wasn't threatened because really I thought all Gore wanted was the gods. So I never really felt any fear towards the villages or the world or anyone really. I kind of was just okay, he's going to take out the gods and Thor's next sort of thing. So I don't know, it just seemed like such a strange movie. So I appreciate that I got to watch another Marvel movie because they put a lot of time, a lot of effort and a lot of money into making these things. But man, I can honestly say that this was the most disappointing one for me. Maybe they're setting up something bigger and I'm hoping I'll enjoy that one, but this just fell flat for me and I really didn't enjoy it. I can honestly say that I could have waited to watch it at home rather than going and seeing it straight away in cinemas, because yeah, I don't feel like seeing it on the big screen made any difference as to how impactful and how good it was. It really wasn't good at all. I really didn't enjoy it at all. There were little moments in there that I've kind of mentioned. I thought it was funny that Luke Hemsworth and Matt Damon were in there. That was kind of funny, those moments with the play. Melissa McCarthy was ruined because we already knew that was spoiled. So yeah, I think there were little moments in there that were oh, that's funny, but I never really got a good laugh out of it. Never really felt the story at all. And yeah, I'm just so sorry that I have nothing nice or nicer to really say about it. So anyway, I feel like I should stop talking about it now because all I've done is harp on about how bad it is, which I feel sorry for. So I'm sorry about that. If you're still here, please give this video a like. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel and then head on over to my Instagram and give me a follow over there as well, please. Okay, hopefully my next video will be a little bit nicer or I'll be a little bit happier about the movies that I watched. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in this one and I'm so sorry to say that. Anyway, have a good day and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, sweet as. Bye.